On Sunday, June 28, 2009, President Manuel Zelaya of Honduras was ousted from office. Capping off a controversial presidency, he attempted to lift presidential term limits, which in turn would have extended his presidency. In the first military coup in Central America since the end of the Cold War, soldiers stormed the presidential palace in the capital, and in the early morning, disarming the presidential guard, they woke up Mr. Zelaya and put him on the next plane to Costa Rica. Mr. Zelaya, a leftist aligned with President Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, angrily denounced the coup as illegal. "I am the President of Honduras," he claimed. He insisted at the airport in San Jose, Costa Rica, still wearing his pajamas. Later Sunday, the Honduran Congress voted him out of office, replacing him with the President of Congress, Roberto Micheletti. The military offered no public explanation for its actions, but the Supreme Court issued a statement saying that the military had acted to defend the law against those who had publicly spoken out and acted against the Constitution's provisions. The coup d'etat that took place in Honduras on June 28, 2009, provoked a massive popular uprising. Women represent a majority of the demonstrators. Approximately 60% of those involved in daily demonstrations are women. Under the slogan, "No coup and no violence against women, ni golpe de Estado ni golpe a las mujeres," feminists and resistance have maintained a permanent presence in all anti-coup proceedings and have organized their own actions by and for women. These actions consist of sit-ins in front of the UN building, a march to the US Embassy, occupying the National Institute for Women's building, visiting hospitals and detention centers, video recording demonstrations, sending out information bulletins in print and electronic form, documenting violations of women's rights, and staging demonstrations to defy the curfew. The women in this movement proved to be a force of reckoning. The feminists in resistance developed a grand following despite a lack of media coverage and gained international acclaim as well. The motives of protest were beyond the reinstatement of the democratically elected Manuel Zelaya. Women saw this not only as the opportunity to protest a coup, but also to protest the immense amount of patriarchy present in the government, and to call out the shortcomings of the Honduran constitution by failing to mention women once. Women are fighting for new forms of political participation, where women have access to public offices and are part of the political processes to change the country. They demand that government budgets reflect a gender perspective so that all programs and projects take into account a fair distribution of resources for women. The recognition and free exercise of sexual and reproductive rights as women has today more than ever become the center of their battles. They propose and fight for the right to free choice and voluntary maternity, the legal interruption of pregnancy, sexual diversity, and the repeal of laws that prohibit the use and distribution of emergency contraceptive pills. The effects of the Honduran coup run from politics to social power dynamics. Honduras was in a state of turmoil for 7 months, long before it was agreed that Porfirio Lobo would be the next president to take office in January 2010. Though Zelaya was not reinstated, the coup gave way for women to push the necessary boundaries to fight for their rights. One woman who fought to her last breath was Berta Cáceres. A feminist, environmentalist, and human rights advocate, Cáceres owned her voice. She called out Clinton's meddling in the affairs of Honduras and strongly demanded indigenous rights and proper recognition. Her legacy was allowed to be created through the 2009 birth of the Feminist in Resistance movement, which revolutionized society in Honduras for women today.